Hey guys, I've been wanting to make a video like this for quite some time, and I think now is the time for me to actually speak up about it. So I am a church kid. I have been in the church since 1987. First Honduras, then Miami, and then my last church experience was in Austin. I swore I'd never do one of these videos because first of all, I know the majority of the people in the church, once they hear about this or see it, won't even look at it, or if they do, they're just gonna write me off as poisonous or negative or in the world or whatever, all the things that come up, or she's crazy, or she got divorced and so she went off on the dark side or whatever. I really don't care. This is more for the people that are actually like on the line and want to maybe hear another opinion, or someone that's actually lived through it and want some hope maybe. So I don't know where to start because I have so much information, but I don't want to make this too long and lengthy because then no one wants to watch it. But basically there's a few things. The biggest thing I struggled with, and everyone that's in the churches knows this, this whole concept of being an overcomer, it's been daunting me. It's been one of the biggest things I've dealt with growing up in this group was this idea of being an overcomer. And I don't know where they got this from, but I've talked to so many people that are just like, well, I'm just going to be in outer darkness and I'm going to suffer for those 1,000 years or whatever, and that's just it because I'm not an overcomer. And I remember thinking like, man, okay, maybe if I can just get myself to read the morning revival every day, or if I can get myself to read the Bible or go to all the home meetings and go to the meetings on Sunday and just always be on top of it, bring in new ones, I gotta bring in new ones, like, then I'll be an overcomer. But reality, if you just do the math, your statistics, I can't even say the word, statistically speaking, my odds were not in my favor. And so I was always like, man, I'm never gonna be an overcomer, and it just always seemed like such an impossible thing. And and I would just think about it, I'm like, it doesn't make any sense. We talk about this God that's so loving, so sweet, so amazing. As a parent, and I have 4 boys, as a parent, I would never, ever, ever punish my children the way that the church says that God's gonna punish or judge us, or we're gonna have to go through this transformation. It's just fear-based. It's all fear-based. Any government entity, anyone in power knows that fear is the best way to get people to move. I mean, you can just see that from the whole COVID experience. It's all fear. Fear-based is the way to get. When you have someone in a position of fear, you're able to control them. And that's what this church does. It's all fear-based. It's like, well, if you're not an overcomer, and if you don't do this, if you don't do that, and it's very subtle, and it never sat right with me. I always felt like such an outcast in the church. I was like, I'm never going to be that kind of sister. I'm never going to talk like her, or be able to share like her, or whatever in the meetings. And I was always putting myself down. Like, man, my confidence was so low in that group. I was always saying like, I'm never going to be an overcomer. I'm not good enough. I can't read the Bible like this person. I can't share like that person. And you don't really realize it because it's such a low level. It's in your subconscious. You're constantly putting yourself down, and it's not like a positive message. It's always like they say it is, but it's really not. And I've known so many people in my age group specifically were children of people that initially started these churches, and a lot of them have left and no one even asks why. And a lot of them, it's all the same thing. We've seen the reality, like it's a bunch of BS, and the people that are still in it are so brainwashed that, I mean, I remember years ago when I was in this group, and any kind of video or something that came out on Facebook, it was like, don't watch it, don't listen to it, this is poison. Why is it poison? I'm questioning things. Anyone should be able to question things. Anyone should be able to speak out. What are they trying to cover up? They don't want the truth to come out. And I've had over 10 stories I could tell you right now, which I'll tell you a few of them, of countless stories of abuse, cover up, sexual abuse, cover up. These guys still in the church, still have kids in their home, still have young people in their home, and the elders know that they are doing things or have done things to kids, and no one's doing anything about it. Home meetings in their homes. I know about this one older man, and he did something terrible to a young person in junior high, and to several others that came forward that I found out about. still has young brothers in his home, and he had been molesting the other ones back in the day, and no one does anything about it because it's all in the name of covering this brother or covering the situation. And to me, it blows my mind. Like, it blows my mind. In my own family, I've had a situation, and one male in the family abused another person in the family. And our first instinct as a family, because at the time we were all in the church, was to cover it up, don't say anything, we need to not stumble the body, just go away quietly. And like, what is going on? That is horrible, because what if that person goes off and does it to another person and we never reported it? There's legal things in the world for a reason, because people like that are sick and they need to get help. And you know, I get it. The message is, well, if it happens in the world, it'll happen in the church life. Why does sexual abuse, how does that make anything worse than any other group? Well, I'll tell you this much. The fact that the elders and the leading ones know about it and they don't do anything about it, for the most part, makes me sick. I mean, I've had very close contact with several people, several young girls, college girls, so many people who live with these monstrosities of people that are still in the meeting and they can't meet because they're so embarrassed, ashamed, scared to go to the meeting because these people are still in the meetings and no one cares. Another thing that I'm like, why is this going on? Is like, you know, we have such judgmental characters, such elitist mentality in this group. I remember even myself, I'm speaking because I've had these thoughts. It's like, oh, well, it's degraded Christianity. They're below us. They don't know anything. We have the highest truth. Somehow, this Asian man that died all of these years ago, he has the highest truth. Just him. He just happened. I mean, doesn't it sound like every other cult that's ever existed, guys? Like, really? This one guy happens to get the truth. He gets inspired by God, and he writes all of this stuff, and no one questions it. No one even looks back into anything ever. Like, how are we supposed to just trust these two guys, and that's the only stuff that we read? No one really welcomes any other authors into the church. You can't speak about other authors in the meetings. You can't question anything in the meetings. Anyone that I've ever known that's questioned things or has done anything like I'm doing, either their reputation gets tarnished, they get cut off completely. I mean, that reminds me of another story of an elder back in Austin who totally lied about a whole situation. And we talked to the victim and she told us a whole different story. And I knew she was telling the truth. She got totally exiled. There's so many cover-ups going on. It's ridiculous. And I'm sorry to those of you that are still in this group and don't see it. I was one of those people not long ago. I understand how deep the brainwashing goes, like, you know, and people say, oh, when you speak out, bad things happen to you, or like, you touch the body, you touch the ark. I am not doing any of those things. I'm just telling you facts. A God that really, truly loves somebody would never harm them. I'm a mother. I have 4 boys. I would never, ever punish my children because they are human and they are trying. Our God, a real God, won't punish anybody and will not throw them into judgment or cast them into eternal whatever for 1,000 years and make them suffer because they were human and they made mistakes. That is a story I refuse to believe, and they base so much off of this overcomer stuff. It blows my mind. And no one should have to suffer thinking they're never going to be an overcomer and just live their life. And another thing is you're constantly contradicting your own self. It's like putting down the flesh, your soul's good for nothing, your mind. Our minds are powerful, beautiful things. Our soul is a beautiful thing. It's made to express things that God put in us. Why would we put ourselves down? Why would we constantly be saying that our flesh is good for nothing? God made us a certain way with gifts and abilities for a reason. It is a self-loathing, we're good for nothing message, and it puts people into a depressive state. There are so many people with mental health issues in this group, more than average groups out there. It's insane. I have seen countless people depressed, suicidal. I have gone through some horrible things with people that were very close to me that have gone through some mental issues and were extremely spiritually based, the mental thoughts they went through, because of the brainwashing this group puts you through. And I'm going to say, and I know no one likes to say the C word, but this is a cult, and it's not such an obvious cult like other cults where they're drinking blood and whatnot. This is a cult. It's a very evil cult, and there's some very terrible things that happen in this group. And if you're still in it and you're on the line, there's other people you can talk to that have gotten out. But I'll tell you firsthand, I have never felt so more free, more relieved in my entire life. I feel like a load has been lifted off since I've left. I don't feel this constant pressure of how I need to be and what I need to act like and all of the criteria. They don't talk about what the overcomer is, but there are all these other criteria, and you only read this one author and you have to dress and speak a certain way, but they don't tell you. And it's a slow transition as to how they want you to be, and it's very robotic. And now when I even see people communicate online through these groups that are in the church, it makes my stomach hurt. Like, it's disgusting. And I'm not some heathen now out in the world doing whatever I want. I'm living a really good life, and I'm really living a very moral life. And I really much enjoy my life right now. And it's been a fantastic opportunity. Like, God has taken me out of this group and he's given me an amazing life, and nothing bad has come out of it. So if you're afraid to leave because you think horrible things will happen to you, that's not true. He doesn't want you to be tortured or to suffer. He wants to love you and show you that there's way more than just this group. I met this one girl. I knew her for like over 10 years. She's my age, she's in her 30s, never had children, never been married. I told her, hey, why don't you just try to date and just see who's out there? She told me, oh no, I could never ever date anyone outside of the church life because I know that they'll take me out of it. So what's her alternative? She has to stay in the church forever and be single and not have children because heaven forbid she goes to find a man that's not in the church that could treat her right. It's insane to me. Even, I mean, I have been in countless groups of married women. In the groups, they're talking about the abuse they're receiving from their husbands, but they can't say anything because they have to cover their husbands. I mean, it blows my mind, guys. Like, where are all the morality and where are all the actual, like, logic here? It just goes out the window under the name and the guise of under the covering of God and the brothers and leading brothers. And so the whole system's set in place where if there's an issue, you go to the leading brothers and they can control the situation from there. They're not God. We are replacing God with these guys. They're not God. If there's an issue, you need to go straight to the source and talk to them. Why would he talk to the leading brothers? That is not a good place. They should not have to be interfering. Like, anyways, I could go on, and maybe I'll make another video at one point, but I just wanted to put this out there and get it off my chest because it's been something that's been on my heart for a long time. And I know that if I say something, even if it affects and helps one person, I'll feel good about it. So if you're listening and for some reason this resonates with you and you feel like in your heart, don't let your mind talk you out of it. It means something. It means that you're trying to get out of this group, because really, guys, it is a bondage to be in this group, and you will feel a lot more free and good things will come. I promise.